Okay, so I'm going to start with holding my pencil. Usually when you draw or when you write, you hold your pencil kind of like this, down close. To draw, you want to bring your pencil a little bit further up. That way you get a little bit more control over the pencil. The other way that you can do it is like this, when it comes down to some shading techniques like this. But we're going to start like a writing hold, just a little bit further up the pencil. This is your basic pencil grip for drawing. Alright, so this will give us a little bit, we're going to use both parts of the pencil. This is why we don't use a mechanical pencil. We want the tip and then we want the edge. So with the tip, we can do some very, very good, precise, lighter. And of course it's hard to see, but you can see if I put the pressure down real hard, and then a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, 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 lighter. Now, if I want to do longer lines, move my hand back, and I can do longer lines. What I'm doing now is hatching. Now, hatching can be done in a way where you start very, very close together and then pull across further and further. It's lighter and lighter and lighter. So down here we have a very, very dark bunch of lines all together, and then it gets super duper lighter. Alright, so the other thing, if I wanted to do longer lines, hatching, 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 do a series of hatch marks. The other thing, if I use the side of the tip of the pencil, I can hold it this way and do some lines like this. A little bit more shady. So let's start hatch lines close together. Further apart, and on and on and on. Now, so we have those. Now we're going to do cross hatching. Cross hatching is where we go and take the pencil, start with the line, the hatching lines, and then go across. Now we can do them this way, we can do them diagonally, we can do them this way. It's where the lines intersect. We can also do it with curved lines. So let's do some curved lines. We can do straight lines with curved hatches, do like wavy lines. Okay, the other thing we can do is maybe like a series of the hatch lines. Now the smaller I go, the closer my hand gets to the tip of the pencil. But when I want to do bigger ones, softer lines, I kind of let loose control a little bit. That kind of thing is really good for gesture drawing. It's good for loose drawing, and we'll get into gesture drawing and loose drawing later on in the class. But for now, it's like this is tight control, tiny details, tight control, way down to the lead, right? This also gives you painful wrists, painful fingers, gives you little dents in your fingers and makes you smear on the edge of your hand. This is looser, it's a little bit more free. Sometimes you need to do this, and sometimes you need to do this. My goal is to have you doing this more than you do this. You know, it's just, it's a much more fun way to draw. All right, next thing we're gonna do is curves. So let's bring it down here. So curved lines can help you to create slight volume. Now curves can be done in like a broken curve, or it can be done in a spiral. Spirals can be very, very tight together, and then they can be spread out, bigger, loopier. You can bring it back together again. Overlapping, big, overlapping, small. And with spirals and loops, you really get a lot of more texture. Actually, anytime where the lines kind of cross together, you kind of get a lot of texture that way. But depending on the pressure that you put on the pencil and how close the lines are together, you will get texture and you will get gradation. So gradation and value is like when you go from dark to light. Now if I go like this enough, I've created a full little value scale with spirals. Okay, so you get the idea. So now it's your turn. So I want you guys to grab a pencil, and basically you're going to fill up one page with the little drawing techniques that you just saw. So you're going to start with just basic lines. I would say show me how you hold your pencil, but I'm going to trust you on this one, okay? So I want you to start with basic lines. I want you to give me a value scale where you start with hatch lines very, very close together and then let them get further apart. So I want to see a value scale with hatching. I want to see light hatching with light pressure, dark hatching with like heavy pressure. So kind of like how these guys are over here, the very, very dark, dark, dark lines. I also want to see long hatching that you've done with like a looser hold, and the little intense hatching with like a fine, tight hold. After you do your intense hatching with the fine, tight hold, then you're gonna move on to some cross hatching. Let me see if you can see this. All right, so remember, cross hatching is when your lines are hatched and then intersected. So I'd like to see some like horizontal, like right-angled hatching up and down, some diagonal, some curved hatching. Really just play around with it and just do a decent amount on your page, right? The wavy curved lines hatching, I would like to see some tiny little pencil strokes, some longer pencil strokes, some curved lines, some spirals, and then a value scale made out of spirals. All right, and then when you are totally done with that, I just want you to take any blank spaces and fill them with doodling of your choice. So go ahead and fill up that whole page and then add it in the comments. Thank you. Bye.